26th, 2023. Hope everybody's doing well. I have not posted a video probably over 7 months, and I got a lot of catching up for you guys to do. What's going on with me? It is Sunday morning, just finishing up a easy 3-mile run today, kind of a shakeout run. And yeah, so let me catch you guys up what's going on. So last year finished up a race in Colorado, and then typically in Texas, November through February, I get really sick with allergies, so I have to stay inside quite a bit, and it's really not much fun videotaping inside. But what happened on January 1st, I like to do a FTP test on my Peloton bike. FTP stands for functional threshold power, and I've been doing that for 6 years. So January 1st, wake up and I do that test and kind of see where my fitness is for that for this new year, right? Every year I've done it, I've gotten faster, and this year included. I got a little bit faster than last year, which was really hard, but I did it anyway. I actually beat my time from last year. But when I finished, I had to sit on the bike for 5 minutes. I was really dizzy, and I've been noticing, like, when I finish my workouts, that I get really dizzy afterwards, and I don't really feel quite right for probably about 15 or 20 minutes. And so February, I started feeling again kind of sick and tired, and wasn't feeling too good one night. I just went and lay down in bed and fell asleep, and my wife Stacy woke me up, and she's like, "What are you doing in here?" And I was like, "I don't feel too good," and went to the bathroom, and I started throwing up blood. And of course she takes me to the ER. So I'm at the ER, and I'm thinking this will be just a waste of $500. Come in here, they'll do a few tests like that, you're fine, and send me home. But well, next thing you know, I'm being admitted. I had lost a lot of blood. They said you have some internal bleeding going on somewhere. So I spent the next 4 days in the hospital and doing tests and stuff. Come to find out I have 3 bleeding ulcers, and I guess I'd been bleeding for quite a while, and I lost a lot of blood. So there you go. There's why I'm feeling kind of tired and lightheaded. That took a lot out of me. It took me about 2 months to get back to where I could work out and feel pretty good. And so I didn't sign up for any races. I haven't done anything. I'm just kind of working out for fitness right now. So after that, Stacy had booked a trip to Italy. We did a food and wine tour of northern Italy in the first part of May. And if you guys watch my old videos, I was kind of, trying to get back in shape and lose some weight and all that. So last year I was down to 192, 190, hovering. I would go to 188 at time to time. Well, anyway, this trip to Italy, I'm back up to 213 pounds. So it's back up to the Clydesdale division for me. So if you're not familiar with what that is, for running and triathlons, they have a division for people who weigh over 200 pounds. And, when I was running and racing, I was 170, maybe 175 pounds. Felt really light. I was very springy, I like to say. I felt springy. I felt really light on my feet. And I would see people running and that were heavier, and they just look they look like they're in so much pain. And I get it now. It's running when you're heavy is hard, man. It's just beats you up. Yeah, it beats you up, and it's not fun. It's not enjoyable, and your body just aches afterwards. I mean, I'll finish up a run and my back hurts, and my whole body just aches. So, it goes back to like the motivation, like, oh my God, why am I doing this? It's not fun, it's not enjoyable. And I see people who, they're younger and they're tearing it up through our neighborhoods and they're going fast, and I'd like to go back to that point in my life. I probably, I'm not gonna be fast again, I don't think. I can get fastish again, but not I'm not gonna be running 18-minute 5Ks anymore. But so my whole point of this catching you guys up is I want to tell you a quick story. So this is going back to my high school days back in Colorado. So my grandfather on my dad's side had MS. He had multiple sclerosis. He had it really bad. It affected his speech. He obviously couldn't walk. he couldn't do much of anything. He couldn't really talk really well either. So it was really uncomfortable to go see him. I loved him. He was a great guy, but it was hard to hear him, understand him, and it was just hard to see him like that. So when I was a little kid, I always thought, well, when I get older, my dad's going to be in a wheelchair, then I'll be in a wheelchair. So even at like 6, 7 years old, I ran a lot because I thought, well, one of these days I'm not going to be able to do it. And that's true for all of us. One of these days we're going to go out for a run, and that's going to be our last run we'll ever do. As we get older, or what happened, I mean, health or whatever it could be. One day we're going to have our last run. And I think about that all the time. When's it going to be my last run? So when I do go out for a run, I try to enjoy as much as I can, even though my body is aching quite a bit. So I played football, basketball, track, soccer. I was always playing a sport. And as I got into high school, I was on the varsity. I guess my sophomore year I was on varsity football and basketball and track. And when track season came around, all of my seasons overlapped with each other. So my football overlapped with basketball, and basketball overlapped with track. And when track came around, I didn't want to do it. I was just tired of running and I needed a break. But my football coach talked me into going out for track again. So I ran 800 and 400. That was my races. One of my toward the end of and I just ran fast enough. I just did well enough to be on the varsity team. I wasn't trying to, do more than that. I didn't really put a whole lot into it. But after one of my races, I ran my fastest time, and I think it was right around 50.46 or something like that. My goal was to go down under 50 seconds in my 400 meters, but I think if I'd have worked harder, I would have easily done that, but I didn't push myself like I should have. So after the track meet, my mom and dad's like, let's go to see your grandparents. They lived over in Grand Junction, and I grew up south of there in Montrose. And went to see my grandfather. My mom was talking to him in the living room, and she was telling about the track meet and all, and he said something to me, and I didn't understand him, and I asked my mom, what did he say? And she's like, he wants to know what your time was. So I said, I ran a 50.46, and he's like, we kind of made that not too bad face. And the clearest I'd ever heard him talk, he said, God, I used to love to run. And how old was I then? 16, 17 maybe? That really affected me, because here's a guy, I'm complaining about running, and this is a guy that would give anything to run one more time and feel that pain, that we all experience when we go for runs. And I swore at that moment I would never complain about running again, because it is a gift, and we have to appreciate what we have. One kind of a side note, I was telling my dad that story, and a few years ago before my dad passed away, and my dad grew up in a farm over in Boulder, and my dad, he said, your grandfather used to love to run, and he would when he was on the farm, he's always running from place to place and trying to get things done. But at the state fair, this is again before Boulder became Boulder like we know it now, for ones like in fitness and all. But my grandfather said the state fair or county fairs and all, he would always win first place in the running competition. So he was a good runner as well, and that makes me feel pretty good knowing that he was a pretty decent runner. Another kind of funny thing, my sister, I mentioned her, she runs really well. She was a heavy smoker and I kept on trying to get her to quit for years. And one year I just said for Christmas, she didn't have a whole lot of money, and she's like, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, I want you to stop smoking. That'd be my Christmas present. And she did that, and then talked her into doing a half marathon with me, and that was a lot of fun to do that with her. And that just got her kicked off. Her goal was to finish like in 2 hours and 30 minutes. And I said, no, we're gonna finish. I'm not gonna run a half marathon that long. We're gonna finish under 2 hours. And we did. We finished right at 150 something. But she was hooked at that point. Now here's a person, I've never qualified for Boston. I've had just terrible Boston Marathon race or qualifying races. She's run 3 Boston marathons. My dad's cousin lives in Boston, so she'll go out there and stay with her when she does the Boston Marathon. Anyway, her name's Barbara, and Barbara says, when she watches Aaron run, she's like, it looks just like my grandfather, our grandfather Eldon, when he ran. So it's kind of yeah, it's a neat little kind of circle there. Anyway, so that's my preaching for the day. I'm done preaching. All right, so what are my plans here? I've always kind of run just to kind of stay in shape, to be able to do things, and you know, if someone wants to go for a hike or climb, or even a running race, I would have enough fitness to do it. I'm still doing like zone 2 training. So zone 2 training basically is where you can run at conversational pace, and I do that for, you know, 45 minutes or an hour. And I'm not doing any long distance right now. So most I would run about right now is 5 miles. And it's starting to come back. I've lost my cousin Devin, and I was talking to him. I was kind of complaining about my weight going back up to 213. And he's like, all right, man, listen, for the next month, we're going to text each other every day and see, kind of watch what we're eating and working out. So I haven't weighed myself in a while, but I think I'm back down to 200, maybe 199 right around there. So that's kind of what it feels like when I run right now. Gonna keep doing this. We got a bunch of bike rides planned for me and Stacy, that's my wife, and Alec, our son, who's 6. And we'll, of course, videotape that. And taking a big trip this summer to probably Olympic, do some trail runs up there. Again, I don't have any races planned. That's fine. I don't need a race. I like to just go out and enjoy and see the sights. And I don't know if you can hear all the birds and stuff, but I like there's a cardinal right there. Just like to get out here in the morning and hear the birds and feel the breeze. And that's what makes running great, is all this, just being out here and experience all this while we can. Anyway, you guys have a great day. I'll post more videos here shortly, but for those of you who reached out and asked how come I haven't posted any videos in a while, I appreciate that. And here you go. This is my first video this year. I'll try to keep do a better job of posting more things and what's going on and all that. Anyway, have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.